Hello, all of my awesome selves out there. I am Abe with Mystic Gen Mara, your host for this evening's reading. I am offering the elemental energy reading for the energy of air, which covers the zodiac signs of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius for July of 2025. If you are interested as to why I read for the elemental energies versus the zodiac, there's a link in the description to a video I made about that. And then any of the decks or books I'm using are linked down below as well. If you are interested in getting a natal chart read, there we go. There's a link in the description. It's not a sponsored thing or anything like that. It's just a really cool tool to use for spiritual understanding. It's a basic one, but it does give you your 12 houses, what's all the planets and everything in it, and then a 10 to 20 page, depending on what's all there, description of what all that means. There's a section in there on elemental energies, and when I first got my chart from that actually same company, Llewellyn, it was actually more accurate than my zodiac was at the time. The elemental section was. Over time, I've come to understand more of what the rest of it means, because the zodiac is a foreign language to me. I'm working on it. But could be something interesting if you've never had that done before. With that, sorry for the introduction here. We'll hop into your reading. And we start by casting a hexagram before the video. And Air, you have a hexagram 15. And its title is Modesty. And modesty brings success. The superior man or woman is able to carry affairs through to completion. When they talk about a superior person in this aspect, it's talking about someone who has the moral and the ethical standards so that they can actually hold to what is their virtues, their values, and it doesn't really matter what else is going on around them, they're able to stand up for that. And it's saying that modesty brings success, meaning you don't have to be flamboyant about whatever it is, and you don't have to be harsh about it. Find that middle ground, and that's the safest place to wander the path. And this is saying that you're able to carry affairs through to completion. When you kind of stay in that more neutral state, that more modest, you're not out and loud and carrying on, but you're also not hiding away in a corner, it allows you to actually pass much more seamlessly through trials and frustrations, and sometimes even the celebrations where you're like, that was very cool, but you're not getting all emotionally wrapped up in it. So for Air, this is pretty much how you run anyway, because you work with your intellect so strongly. So our foundational line down here is the superior man or woman, ever modest and retiring, fords the great river good fortune. Generally, when we're talking about water of any form in the I-ching, they're talking about massive challenges. So a great river is a big situation that needs to be dealt with, something that has to be crossed. And the superior person, ever modest and retiring, meaning you're not out there staying out all night, you're not doing all the extra. This is the goal, this is how we do this is the plan ahead. And really what I'm hearing is you get more joy out of going this path than you would if you were going out and doing all the extra stuff, because you're fording the great river good fortune. You're going to achieve your goal. That is the basics here. Whatever it is that you're looking for, some of you are actually looking into taking your relationship to the next level. I'm hearing that pretty loud right now. So for whoever that is, this is saying you're going to get the proposal, you're going to get the commitment of some form by the end. This is your great river, and it's interesting because they just keep going back to that aspect. So for whoever that is, things are looking really good for you. Your second place line, which we're working from the bottom to the top, modesty crows the cock rooster, righteous persistence brings good fortune. The modesty is in the morning. This is how you do it. This is what you're doing. And it crows the rooster. This is other people are calling out like, wow, look at what you've got going on. Look where you're headed. So this is not you doing it. It's other people making the announcement. And that's where your righteous persistence brings good fortune. Don't let your ego get in the way. They're calling and squawking and making the noise. That's fine. Let them do that. You know where you're headed, Air. You're taking the steps. Your plan, you're actually playing it close to your chest. You're not worried about what everyone else is doing, and you're not showing them, because who knows what those loose lips are going to sink ships. You've got your own agendas, and that's actually beneficial because you're following those virtues, the values, the morals, the ethics, whatever term you want to use. That's what you're following, and that's allowing you to proceed without all their chaos getting involved, which is huge. So, our third place line, the only solid line on this one, the superior man person, exceedingly hardworking yet modest, brings his affairs to fruition, good fortune. This is also saying that other people, if you happen to be a supervisor, if you happen to be an employer, if you happen to be co-working with other people, what this is really saying is because of your ability to work right alongside the people you're supervising, they want to actually work with you and for you and help you achieve these goals. This could be, especially if it's in a relationship standpoint, this could be you're the wingman. They're helping set things up behind the scenes. They're helping get things to the point where you can actually take that relationship to that point. Or at least they're supporting you, giving you the ideas, or helping hone the proper location, time, whatever it is. But it's saying because you're willing to be in the trenches with others as you're building towards your goals, people are going to respect that, and they're actually going to start cheering for you as you move forward. So our fourth place line, everything will be propitious for those who cultivate modesty. This one is saying as you, staying with those values, that modest stance, as you go forward, you're actually going to help other people realize, oh, I don't need to be extreme about this. I can still achieve my goals, and I don't have to go out every night. I don't have to work twice as hard as everybody else. I can do the things that I need to do, and that's actually going to benefit me in the long run. So what you are doing at this point, Air, is you're living the example for others. You're going to achieve what you've got to do. Like, whatever's going on here, you're going to be able to do this. But because of how you're doing it, other people are noticing that, well, that person's not being swayed by the news. You're not being swayed by that magazine with the socialite on the cover. You're not being swayed by, well, this group of friends is going out and partying. You're not being swayed by that. And people are noticing, they're looking, and they're going, oh. So that's how we do this, and that's actually pretty cool. So our fifth place line, in treating his neighbors, he is modest about his wealth. If he now attacks the rebels, everything will contribute to his success. Just because you're getting the things that you've been working for, this is not, again, not a bragging period. That's where we're saying modest about wealth. Wealth is not always financial. Could be, and if that's the case, good on you. But it's also saying whether, like, all the good things that are coming in, you've worked hard for these, Air. This is not something that the universe is just like, oh, we're just going to be nice and give you all this stuff. This is stuff you've earned. But by earning it, you've learned that there's no reason to be egoic about it. I'm so good. No, I've had help. This is how I've done it. This is the plan. And that allows you to be very generous with others when you have the time or money for it, because you know that you've earned this, and now you're choosing to share your good fortune. And if he attacks the rebels, everything will contribute to his success. This is saying if there's a challenge that really needs to be aggressively dealt with, and I'm hearing this is like the third week of the month, somewhere third, fourth week. If there's something that really needs to just be stomped down, like someone's really just getting in your way, they're saying that that's not going to be a bad thing, but there's also this option to not have to deal with that. But if it comes up and you have to, this is the beauty of what I'm getting from this reading is just because you're peaceful and neutral does not mean in the slightest that you cannot go to war when necessary. And that's what they're saying is if it comes to a point where you have to step up and really be forceful about something, it's not going to be as big of a deal because you've been able to stand in this more ethical, moral, virtuous state for as long as you have. So, Air, you're actually in a really good spot. Your capstone, the top line here, modesty crows the rooster. We're going to keep this PC. Now is the time to set armies marching to subdue the cities and the countries of the empire. So this is where you're seeing the success of everything that you've put effort into, but it's also about the people above you who might have been financially supporting you, an employer, a higher manager. They're also seeing that you can handle yourself really well and you're not going to overdo stuff. And this is where you get put in positions where you're in charge. They're walking away and they're going to watch. Here you go. How are you going to handle it? So, and in a relationship standpoint, this is where you're getting to that point where, what's going on? Everything's been built up to this one point, and now it's time for you to step forward and take the action. They're just going to stand on the sidelines and watch, because at this point, by the end of the month, you're taking the final steps to achieve whatever it is that you've been working on, whether that's a promotion, whether that's starting your business, expanding your business, proposing to that special someone, or possibly starting to look at expanding the family if you're already in a relationship. This is where that comes into play, is by the end of the month, other people are just going to be observing, because it's like, wow, look how far air came. They did a lot this month. That's pretty cool. So your energy for this month is really positive, very strong building energy. And before we hop into the Oracle and the Tarot, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, comment your thoughts, feelings, and impressions. And just for something fun or a little different, is I'm holding up the cards through the Tarot and Oracle cards. If you get a different impression or a different vibe off of them, feel free, if you're comfortable with it, dropping your thoughts in the comments. It's always fun to hear what other people see or hear in the cards. Same thing with the I-ching. That one's a little more structured, so it's a little more, it can be a little more difficult to intuit well. But if you're feeling something, feel free, comment. I'm always interested to hear what other people think. So there's about 5 weeks in July, so we'll go through 5 sets. Each week we look at a guide or guardian, a message from source, usually a positive affirmation, some kind of spiritual support, and then we'll get some clarity with the tarot. So we're starting off your first week in July with the Bat for air. See through the illusion into truth. This actually fits really well for you. Archangel Dorenka. Never heard this angel before. But what I'm getting with the bat is the bat has this ability to see things in the dark. They can fly and never run into a tree. They can hunt their prey, echolocation, that kind of thing, where they're still seeing in a different way. And air, this is what I'm hearing, is this first week is helping you see what's coming, but not in the conventional way. You're not looking at it from, well, this is the structure and this is how it's formed. You're actually floating above it and you're kind of observing the land, going, that's where I need to be. I need to dodge this. This is where I'm headed. And it's allowing you to actually form a clearer path, but you're doing so in a way that other people are not noticing and they're not able to do as well. So air, this is really a positive support for you starting off this month, saying, now you understand you can see this stuff, but because of air, you're able to move into way zoomed out or way zoomed in because you can see things differently than other people. So that's pretty cool. Interesting. Next card. Your message from source is the void. Stop, embrace the winter and the great cosmic womb. The bat is helping you see, but the void source is saying, don't forget to take care of yourself. Yes, you're working, you're striving for a goal, you're doing all the things, but don't forget that your physical form and your spiritual form and your mental form all need to have some care as well. So you're doing all the things for the future, which is great. But don't forget, maybe get a foot massage, maybe take a nice relaxing, go sit in the creek. It's a little hot for baths, at least where I'm at, it's a little warm for that. But do the things that help you relax and unwind, and that's allowing you to heal and grow. You're able to see things differently, and sometimes that clarity comes in those moments where you're not thinking, not actively pursuing. It's that quiet between thoughts, and that's what the void is bringing forward, is tap into that so you can actually rest but then continue moving when you need to. It's a kind of a nice balance that's being called up here. So your message from the tarot is number 17, the Star, with Archangel Jophiel. A dream come true, believing in yourself, the end of a difficult situation. Air, if you've been dealing with some challenges through the month of June, July is going to open the doors to your success. June had some interesting energies across the board for everybody, but what I'm getting for as you go forward, you're finding your balance. You're working with stellar energy. We're not talking about planetary, we're not talking about lunar or solar. The stars are beyond our galaxy. They're outside, they're watching but influencing from a distance. And that's where the bat energy is coming in as well, is you're not looking at things from the everyday mundane. You're rising above. You're looking at it from a mental plane. You're looking at it from a spiritual plane. So as you're going forward this month, Air, this is a good way, this first week especially, is saying you have a great deal of gifts and talents. You're being reminded to take the breaks and, spend the time for healing as needed. But you have the ability to see the path ahead very clearly. And what I'm hearing is, don't be afraid to use your natural talents and gifts. Air, you have a lot of them, all the elements do, but yours specifically are about the mental aspect of things and being able to deconstruct or rebuild all within the mechanism of your brain. So you've got a lot of unique talents specifically for this type of mission that you're on this month. So our second week's guide or guardian is the Elephant. Open yourself to true abundance with Archangels Mary, we'll call her Mother Mary, and Archangel Raphael. I'm not sure why they call it a Mary and Angel. That's a different energy altogether. But what we're looking at here is opening yourself to the reality of what you're seeking. Have you sat down, Air, and thought about it? Yeah, you've got the plans, you can see the images ahead of you, but have you actually put yourself in the emotion of having it? Having started that business, that first customer, that first client, that first sale? Have you put yourself in that energy of that promotion? Have you put yourself in that position of now you're a spouse, now you're a father, now you're a mother? Have you consciously set yourself into that mindset? The Elephant is saying, okay, you have all the things in the intellectual realm. Now it's time to bring them into the emotional realm. Open yourself to abundance. Open yourself to this new reality. It may not be the most easy thing for you to do, but have you actually contemplated it? And the second week's energy, starting off, at least the guides are saying, this is the time when you have to focus on what it feels like. The manifestation is going to come, but are you ready for it? If you put yourself in the mindset and the energy and the focus of this is already happened, it opens that door so much faster and so much easier than it would if down the road, eventually, I might one of these days. Put it now. Focus on that and hold those energy fields. Hold that frequency, because that's going to help speed things along and clear the path for you. I love how the cards just love to put things together. Your message from Source is the 7-Star Sisters, birthing creations, tapestry of life, and expressions. So what we're looking at here is these 7-Star Sisters are coming in to help you bring your thoughts into manifested light. The tapestry of life, you're weaving the story of your future. Air, this month, they're saying, is a powerful shift that is coming in for you. It is your turn to express yourself, your drives, your heart's desires, holding that modest state where your ego's not being out there being, I'm so much better than everybody else. Okay, well, other air signs are doing the same thing, so that's not how this works. But allowing yourself to move into that modest state of, I'm putting in the effort, I'm focusing, I'm growing, I'm taking the next steps, and this is what the universe is co-creating with me. The 7-Star Sisters are saying, let's weave the web of your future. Let's build this tapestry into such a beautiful thing that you can't deny it. You are going to accept it and you're going to embrace it, because this is where you're headed. So they have a very strong, gentle energy coming in with those gals. So let's hop over to your tarot, see what the messages are there. We have the Page of Gabriel, Energetic, brave, optimistic, and playful. Follow your passion. You're ready for challenges, opportunities for excitement and adventure. The 7-star sisters are going to help you manifest from thought into physical. Page of Gabriel is saying this is where pedal meets the metal, the tires meet the road, whatever you want to use. Have fun with this creative process. If you're stepping into that next stage of your job, have fun with it. Within the rules, of course, obviously, there's always those, but have fun. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy those next steps, because life is a journey to enjoy. We're not here to must be serious and can't have any fun and, no laughing allowed. But you also can't be totally flippant either, where nothing matters, I'll just tra-la-la. There's people out there that do that, and I always wonder how. But the Page of Gabriel is saying, find the balance. Be creative, do the thing, add the knowledge, add the wisdom, add the study. When you bring the work into the creative process, all of a sudden it becomes an art form. And that's more entertaining and just in general. But for you, Air, you're moving forward this month with this grace, and it's going to be something that if people are paying attention, like the I-ching says, they're going to be almost in awe of like, how are you doing this? But that's the beauty of it. They're going to be crowing. You just are doing your thing, but you're staying focused on the next steps. You're staying focused on the goal. You're keeping your ego at bay. You're taking the breaks as needed, but you're also having fun along the way, because why not? So your third week's guide or guardian is the deer, both a doe and a stag. Trust in the support of the universe with archangels Michael and the angels of faith. This is where you start to understand the universe has your back. The spirit animals of the deer specifically are here to help guide your heart. They're help to guide your feet. There's a book that I read years ago called Hind's Feet in High Places. And it's amazing when you think about watching some of these animals move through the forest with such grace and such ease. Most of the time you won't hear them. You'll see them all of a sudden, they'll just pop up. But they are so silent that you don't notice them. Trust in the support of the universe. This is saying the universe is here to guide you. Your path ahead, you see it very clearly. The first week says so. And by the third week, you're now starting to trust, you know what? The universe has my back. I'm taking my steps. I'm following those intuitions. I'm using my logic, my reason, my studies, the things that I know of how to do this next steps. But you're also allowing that creative aspect of the heart to be active as well. Archangel Michael is coming in to help clear the paths, any doubts or fears that might be popping up. And the angels of faith are saying, trust. Trust God, Source Divine. Trust your guides. This is how you grow spiritually, as you understand everything has a purpose and everything has a reason. And this is what is playing out by this third week for our Air family. Your message from Source is baby steps, action, following your intuition before it makes any sense. Okay, so this third week's energy is you're not going to be rushing through this. You're going to be walking steadily, making progress, and there may be points where you jump ahead a little bit. But for the most part, you're just taking the obvious next steps. It's going to be very simple. It's not going to be a big production. And that's tying into the deer energy as well. They don't, like if you ever watch a deer passively in the field, they kind of stroll. They're just out there doing their thing. They could really care less. They're always aware of their environment, but they're not rushing until they have to. And that's the baby steps. You're taking the logical next steps. You're doing the things, but you're not rushing. That card literally just jumped out of the deck until you absolutely need to. And that's what they're wanting you to understand for this. The message from Source is follow your intuition, follow your instincts, and then move forward accordingly. And when you get that urge to, got to do this right now, do it. The rest of the time, enjoy the journey. It's worth it. Smell the roses. Your message from the tarot, this card, I picked up the deck, I shuffled once, it jumped out. So we have the King of Michael, principled, rational, ambitious, and respected. Those are all good qualities. Wisdom and objectivity are important now. Stay in integrity, a situation that calls for honest and open communication. this kind of ties into that energy from the I-ching, and I did say it was like the third or fourth week energy, so this is third, where you may have a challenge that comes up, and this is where you have to be a bit more aggressive. And that's that baby steps as well, where you're going along, then all of a sudden you have to make that leap. You have to push. The King of Michael is saying, when you're standing in your authority, when you're standing in your ethics, your morals, your virtue, whatever term you want to use, and that challenge comes, you can take swift action, deal with what needs to be dealt with, but you're doing so with integrity. It's not an excessive amount. You're literally taking the problem out of the situation, moving ahead. That's over. Now we got other things to do. And that's the beauty of what this energy is coming in for you, Air. You're taking the steps that are necessary, but you're not worried about all the rest of it. Like, this is where I'm going. This is the goal. Get that block out of the way, and now we can continue forward. And that's the vibe that's coming up in this third week, is they're kind of saying this is where your challenge week could be. Again, if these weeks are a little bit out of order for you, then take them as they roll. But that's the energy of this, how we're reading it right now, the third week. So your fourth week energy is the kangaroo. Be a force for good, which is what we talked about with the I-ching, being the good example, with archangels Raquel, Garcisa, and Sandalphon. I love some of these new angel names. This is saying, this is where you show that you can actually be that ethical, that moral person. Because the King of Michael is, when you had to deal with that situation, you did it in such a way that no one was harmed. The problem was solved. It was cleared out of your path. And now you can move forward. Being the force for good is saying, I am living the virtues, the morals, the ethics, however you want to term that, and other people are noticing it. When we start looking and working with Archangel Sandalphon specifically, Sandalphon, if you look at Malkuth, or at the Tree of Life, he's the ruler of Malkuth, which is the earth, the lowest aspect of it. His twin brother is Metatron, which is in Kether, the top. And when we understand Sandalphon, that's the physical world. He's helping you understand and how to be the force within this physical, interesting bubble we live in here, which is allowing you to step forward and, know knowledge, great air quality, that God's Source Divine is supporting you. The challenge is, now you've seen you can handle them, and you can do it in a way that doesn't really harm anybody, but it proves the point, I'm going this direction and you need to move. If you're not gonna be helpful, you're gonna try to stop me on my goals, then it's time for you to find another path, because this is my path. And that's the focus of this. The kangaroo, they're, for the most part, if you ever watch them on some of the videos on YouTube or documentaries and stuff, they usually look pretty playful and friendly. When they need to, they can step up, and boy, howdy do I would I've watched these people. I'm gonna box a kangaroo. Good luck. But you know when to be forceful, but you also know that it's just easier to not. Like, yeah, I can go to war if I have to. I'd rather not. And that's this energy that's coming up in this third, fourth week. If a situation arises, deal with it swiftly and end it, and then move on. There's no reason to carry that stuff around. And that's the vibe that's coming up here. So your message from Source is lifting the veil, questioning everything. That's always a good quality, actually. Anything unaligned must go. Again, working with that Archangel Michael energy, this is where you start to reevaluate. Now you're seeing, hey, I can handle this. I can deal with this situation. I can move this way, which is revealing truths to you. When we talk about lifting the veil or parting the veils, it's revealing truth. It's revealing knowledge. It's allowing you to see something that you never saw before, or see it in a different light. When you lift the veil and you step into this higher frequency, air, this is allowing you to see the things that need to be let go of. If you're looking for a relationship, that bachelor pad where the dishes are piled up in the sink every week, maybe it's time to fix that. Or in business, you always show up like 2 minutes after you're supposed to be there, and no one really cares. But if you're moving into a position of authority, then you're the example, and you need to be showing up on time or 5 minutes early. this is where you start to understand, this is what I need to change so that when I actually get to the goal part of this whole thing, it's all going to fall together in the best way possible. So this is some of those little tips and tricks that those people around you that are supporting you, you're in the trenches with them, like it says in the I-ching, working alongside them, they're there to support you. And in doing so, they're going to help reflect what needs to be fixed. And that's that lifting the veil. And it might not be much of anything that needs to be fixed. It could be setting your alarm 5 minutes earlier, or it could be something major. That's between you and your guides. I'm just here to show you the energy ahead. So, your message from the tarot is the 9 of Michael. Your worry is unnecessary. Focus on the outcome that you desire. Release feelings of regret, guilt, worry to your angels. So these two cards, lifting the veil and the 9 of Michael, there we go, are really saying the same thing. Time to clear some stuff out. Don't stress over the details like, oh, well, I'm always this, I need to fix this. I can't believe I'm always late. Don't worry about it. Set your alarm 5 minutes earlier, 15 or 20, if you're me, 30, because if I'm late once, my alarm immediately goes a half an hour early. That's just how my brain works. But what they're saying is this is the time to work with your guides, work with God, Source, Divine. Really start to tap into that spiritual aspect of your life to allow yourself to manifest with clarity. What's coming, you've already put the work in. Now it's just following the steps to completion. That's where you're at, Air. You're ready to finish this project. By the way, when you finish this one, you have to start another one to start. But you're heading in the right direction, and the 9 of Michael is saying, don't worry about the rest of it. See what comes up from your meditations, from your clarity that you're receiving, and make the appropriate changes. Might be minor, might be major. That's between you and them. But that's what they're saying is this 4th week is the time for that reflection to actually start to kick in. So let's see where you end up this month. And we know how the I-ching talks about it. Let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Swan demonstrating grace and majesty. That sounds amazing. And Archangel Bakpi. So with this energy coming forward for this last week, it's saying you have achieved so much this month. Whether that is, in someone else's eyes, minor, or if it is something massive that even they're like, holy cow, look what you did. The Swan is saying now's the time to actually preen a little bit. Healthy pride, not egoic pride. Healthy pride is saying, I've put in the work and now I actually have what I have earned. This is how I've done it, and look at what you can accomplish when you put in the effort. This is where the other people are still observing you. They're the ones crowing the loudest, but it's allowing you to actually shine in the light of the divine, because you and your angels, your guides, your guardians, God, Source, Divine, you've all worked together, and what a team to be working with. But it's allowed you to step into that light, and it's allowed you to actually achieve that goal that you've been driving for. And they're saying that this has been a bigger goal than 1 month for you. So this is something, you're bringing it to completion in the month of July. So that's pretty cool. And your message from Source is the Whale and Orca Elders. Share your song, the frequency of sound and diving deep. When you achieve, other people are going to ask questions. Share how you did it. The frequency of the heart is how you teach. Air, you're very much in the mind, so yours might be a little bit different. You might actually end up tapping into a form of telepathic type downloads to other people as you're teaching. But don't be afraid to share what you know. And when you tap into the very heart, diving deep of the situation, you get to those pearls of wisdom, those seeds that inspire the other person. So this 5th week, you are really in your zone. You've achieved the things that you've been working on. This long-term goal is coming to a conclusion here. But it's also saying now you're in a situation where you can help inspire, spread your seeds of wisdom, and hopefully trigger the next level for other people, which is huge. That's that living the example. And that's something that's been kind of a theme through your reading here. So that's kind of cool. That means other people are paying attention to you. Air, you've been on a mission, I'm hearing. And it's been a mission of growth for you, but also the feeling of expansion for others. It's not just your mission. Your mission is yours, obviously. But there's this, as you grow, you're drawing the collective that's around you with you, which is huge. So, the tarot cards are not being very talkative right now. But you've really got this beautiful vibe going forward, and it's worth letting other people know. Now, don't cast your pearls before swine. Like, if they're just going to be, proper phrase, jerks about it, you don't have to tell them. But when you are speaking, if people are asking questions and they're like, how did you do it? Or what was it like to do this? When you are speaking, allow your higher self to radiate out through your words, and you're going to hit the right people. You're going to inspire them in a way that only you can do right now. So, and that's coming into this 5th week. Your message from the tarot is the 4 of Michael. Insights that come from quiet meditation, the need for sleep or time off, seek relief from stress. After everything that you've done this month, just like it says in the 1st week with the void, you're ending with, don't forget to take care of yourself. Don't forget to take the rest. If you were expanding your family or making that connection with another person in a seriously large way, enjoy that. Revel in that new energy. If it's that promotion, great. Don't forget to take a day off. Don't forget to go to dinner. Celebrate your win. And allow yourself to grow and shine beyond where you're at. You've completed one project. And they're saying this has been a long-term thing you've been working on here. So you've completed that. Celebrate that. That is amazing. You've done something a lot of people, just because of day-to-day life, they don't put the effort into it. But you did. Enjoy that. And by the end of the month of July, take the break and allow yourself to revel in that. Because once you complete a project, guess what happens next? There's a new project. So that's where you're headed, but enjoy the break after the success. And then allow yourself to enjoy the next leg of your journey. With that, I will let you guys go. Have a great month of July, which this one for air looks absolutely amazing. And I will see you in the next video.